Welcome everybody to the 2004 conference. It's 2 years, it's gone very quickly since our last one. My name's Gregory, I'm the Managing Director of 12D Solutions, and beside me here is Alan Gray, who is also the co-founder of the company. Basically, we've got a fairly full schedule and we'll try and keep to it as much as possible to give you time to go and see the various booths and things and catch up with everything along the way. Basically, it's great to have you all here. It's been a fantastic turn up because for Australia now, it's been very, very tough times these last couple of years. A lot of the younger people here have never seen a downturn, never seen people be retrenched. But for a lot of our customers, that's what's happened, being big layoffs and things. Our New Zealanders went through it a couple of years ago, about 4 years ago, so they're actually coming out the other side, so there is hope. So if I have a turn up like this, in this sort of climate, it's been fantastic. As far as 12D Solutions go, our number of sales we made has dipped to previous years, but we're still making new sales. So we are still growing, so it hasn't gone backwards as such. So given the industry has shrunk, that means our market share and things has just continued to grow. So luckily we're in that fortunate position, and for that we then added on new people, new staff, continue our development full speed ahead. So when new things pick up for you, 12D has just got bigger and bigger and better. As far as what we'll be doing over the next couple of days is just going through lots of things in 12D, and I will go for an outline of how the conference is all set up for those who haven't been before. But first I'd just like to welcome our main sponsor, CA Kennedy. Most people in surveying know them. They're the Leica distributor in Australia. So they've got their stand out there. They've been sponsoring the dinner event as well. And so whenever you see them, thank them very much. It's nice to have their money so that we don't have to charge more for everyone else to attend. So it's CA Kennedy, so you'll hear them mentioned quite a few times, and so we're very grateful for them being one of our major sponsor. This time we have delegates from all over the place, from America, from Jordan, South Korea, New Zealand, the Philippines, the UAE, United Kingdom, and then all the states around Australia. Of course, most of our business is in Australia and New Zealand, so it's usually we get a good turn up from there, but it's great to have all the others overseas where we're continuing to grow. The various people you'll see here, we have a number from our head office. You saw them registering you. There was Dale, Lauren, Lisa and Vicky were out there at the front office. As far as the software people, you'll see them around. We've got Alan, Ben, Blake, Jeff, Han, Mick, Owen, Richard, Rob and Tony. So most of them have come up from Sydney to be here, so we'll point out some of them who they are so you can ask them questions and things. As far as the people who look after our international team, we have Aubrey here, Graham Worth, who spends most of his time overseas, Joel, myself, Mark and Matt. From the Queensland team, we've got quite a few there, Craig, David, Debbie, who's based in Sydney, but a lot of you may talk to Debbie. She does all the accounts and other things, or quotes and things for Queensland. Owen, Paul, Peter, Therese and Tim. And again, you'll see them over the next few days. For those from New South Wales, there's quite a large contingent from EXDS, who's our distributor in New South Wales, Canberra and South Australia. So we've got Joel, so we've got two Joels now, Joel G and Joel A. Carla, Mark, Rod, Sam and Tony. So there's a great contingent from that area. From Victoria and Tasmania, we've got Matt and soon Tay. And from Western Australia, Maria's here. Unfortunately, Alistair, who's never missed a conference, has had to miss this one. So those from Western Australia, if you're wondering where Alistair, unfortunately, had to go to Africa for a special event. We always have our Kiwi people. We love our Kiwi friends. And again, Anne and Carolyn are here, and Dylan, Lane and Rod. So again, you'll see them. You'll know their accent. Ask them to say a few words. You'll recognise them straight away. And this time we have two gentlemen from South Korea, Jin and Sun Chol. So they're here for the first time. And we have Makram from Jordan and Iraq. So they're our newer resellers in those regions. But I'll bring some of them up just to meet them. So Aubrey, would you like to come on up? And Vicky. Where's Vicky? Didn't round her up. Vicky and Audrey are on the admin team, so they're the nice, pleasant people who are always nice to talk to. The other people we've got, though, is we have Joel. Stay just here, Aubrey. You can. Joel and Tim. Now, these two gentlemen are actually been long-time 12D users, and they're in the support team, one in Queensland, one in New South Wales. So those who really want to know things on the design side, they know it backwards and have been using 12D for many, many years. Then we have Craig and Soon Tay. They're both working on the 12D synergy side. You won't have to hunt them out at all. They are salespeople. So they'll be knocking on your door, so you know who to avoid. They're the salespeople. Vicky's one of our friendly front people at the front desk. Mark, got Mark here. Mark looks after the Americas. The poor gentleman has to slave away in Vancouver. Lucky he likes skiing and things like that. So he's come over from Vancouver. Then we have Jin and Sun Chul, who are actually from South Korea. They've just flown in, arrived yesterday. So they're resellers in that region. And there are a lot of very large Korean companies. They look after Roy Hill, which is one of the largest mining projects in the world. And we have Makram. Makram looks after Jordan and Iraq. So all those who are looking to go for a holiday in Iraq, Makram's the man to see. I'm certain there's probably lots of jobs for 12D operators there. So anytime, he's the man to see all the sites and things of Iraq. And Ben and Tony. Now, Ben and Tony, they're actually in our soft... Oh, come here, guys. Come here. These guys are both in our softwares team. So they're based in Sydney, and so they look after quite a few new things that are happening. Tony has been doing a lot on the dimensioning and leaders and those sorts of things, and view sheds and so on. Ben's been involved with ADAC, XML, a whole lot of little other areas as well. Now, if you ask them questions and they pretend they do not speak English, it's a lie. They're actually fluent in C++, XML, so any XML questions, and also in English. So and Vietnamese as well. So they're the men to nail to ask any of those sorts of questions on those things. So these are all the people who have joined us since our last conference. So this is their first conference here. So you'll probably know more about the conference setup than they do. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. As far as the conference structure, it's broken into 4 sections. There's these combined sessions like we're in now, which is usually the first and the very last of the day. We're all together. Then we break out into the birds of a feather streams. It's birds of a feather because they flock together. That's where the birds of a feather came from. And we break in, we've got 4 of those streams this time. We also have birds of a feather stands, which are out there in the foyer area, so we can go and ask questions and things. And there's a new birds of a feather Q&A, which is go on towards the last day. These combined sessions, they're inside this room here, so we know exactly where we are. When it comes to the birds of a feather streams of talks, there's the design one, which will be in here, and the birds of a feather are on the second after morning tea and after lunch. There's a drainage room, B1, a survey one, and a 12D synergy. So as far as outside there, you're all out in that Boulevard Auditorium foyer, and B1, B2 and B3 are just further down the aisle there. So they'll be where you'll be going to split into the 4 streams. The Birds of a Feather booths, out there we've got BricsCAD, CR Kennedy with Leica, Forum 8, Position Partners with Topcon, and SciTech with the Trimble machine control. Then there'll be stands out there for 12D design, drainage, surveying, synergy and innovations. So during those times in the Birds of a Feather, when the talks run in here, there'll always be someone out on those stands. So if you want to go and ask them questions and things, there'll be someone to go out there and ask whatever you like. That's what they're there for. So they're out in that boulevard foyer area. The Birds of a Feather question and answer, we haven't done this before, but what we're doing after the conference closes on Tuesday, we're actually then people go be around for about another hour, and the people from the Birds of a Feather will go back to each of the rooms so you can come and ask any questions and things like that. So when the conference officially closes, because some people won't need to get to early planes, but they'll all stay here for about another hour so you can come and ask as many questions as you like. So that's right at the very end of the conference. As far as the conference itself, we have our combined sessions, then we have morning tea, then off to our first Birds of a Feather, then lunch, then another Birds of a Feather, afternoon tea, and then usually back for the combined session. So that works the same way each day. Tonight, the welcome event, that's where it's outside there where people tend to talk for 2 hours. Some people are known to drink at that stage, so you are allowed to drink. And similarly on days 2 and 3, we do similar things. With day tomorrow, we actually have a guest speaker, so we'll be breaking after the combined session in the afternoon. We'll just be having a short break where we'll go outside while he sets up, and that's Dr. Carl, and then he comes in and we'll have him speak. And then tomorrow night's the conference dinner. With Dr. Carl, if you don't know Dr. Carl, he's actually a science person, and he basically asks any questions from the audience. So if you've got any science questions you'd ever like answered, then he'll invite questions for the audience and then we'll try and answer them for you. And then the conference dinner, that's actually in the Boulevard room, which is right down the end of the, past all the Birds of a Feather stands. So on that third day, you can see we have the conference closed, but then we have the question and answers. So morning tea, lunch and afternoon tea is right where you were this morning registering. The dinner is right down that end room, but we'll point out where they all are when the time comes. Right, so there's preliminaries and things, what's happening and what's going on.